Hi there, everybody. How are you this evening? It is good to be here. Good to be with you. And for story and art, hang on. Why does that always happen to me? It's good to be here. The library, yay. Yes, tonight I have books about important places and spaces. I found 3 books. One of them is about a library, kind of something that comes to the library. Another one is about school, and another one is about where we read, and I love them all. So today I have been printing, and it's been really nice. Although I should have closed with this screen so that I had my things right, but I still had a good time. And so now I have 3 pieces in a series. I found 2 more to go with my release, an abstract, and I found 2 that I took at the same place that fit within it. So now I have reseed, release, and reflect. So those are the 3. I'm excited. I'll share them on Sunday. But for now, I had my library card before I could finish my sentence. He was trying to tell me about hoop. Oh my gosh. Yes, hoopla is great. It is funny. Anyway, it's amazing how many people don't quite know about all that stuff. So, but it's good. It's good. So, like I said, I have 3 stories for you tonight. And I think I'm going to first check in with you guys and see how you're doing. Linda, my friend, how are you? Been thinking about you a bunch. Yeah. Sending lots of good energy your way and hopeful, healing heart energy. Tamara, how are you? Did the weather turn down there? Are you holding up in the storms? We've got fairly warm weather. We had a wildfire over by my sister's house, not too a little ways away from it, but they're okay, but they got it under control. It was a small one, but kind of crazy, have the opposite things. I know you've got storms going on down there. Yep. You raise them to love reading. Yep. Hoopla. Hoopla is like you'll see it sometimes if you go to Kindle books on Amazon, and it'll say on the side, if you've got library extensions installed, different where you can get the books too. And it's kind of like how I get them through Libby. Libby, Hoopla, all they're another form of getting a hold of some books. And oftentimes I'll go to Hoopla or something if I can't find one there. We are right into the heart of winter. Man, that's just, oh my goodness. So I think I'll get started with the books. For the first book is called School is Wherever I Am. And I thought it was just it's a really charming little book about how we can keep our minds open and about learning new things. It doesn't have to be in a certain place. It's not required. And it's just a fun little book. It's by Ellie Peterson. Don't know a lot about her. But the front cover, I'll show you right here. I loved. School is wherever I am. I love the binoculars he has and the constellation and just that idea that you can learn anywhere. So, San Antonio next Thursday. Okay. All right. School is Wherever I Am by Ellie Peterson. I love this backpack. So full of things. For all my students, past and present, Ellie Peterson wrote. I love that. My school is a brick building with big doors and rectangle windows. My classroom has smooth desks, colorful posters, a teacher, and lots of students. Oh, I love that sign on the door, the power of yet. Oh, school is where I laugh and where I write. It's where I create, where I solve and stumble. It's where I wonder things like, is school only one place? Are there other classrooms? Different teachers? New things to learn? Where else is school? Can school be found among hoots and howls at the zoo? Or in the shimmering scales of bubbly aquariums? Maybe school is the shadow of strangely familiar faces at the museum. Can school be at the pumpkin farm where my arms are bigger than my eyes? Oof. And it's always filled with kids. Can school happen when I'm learning things all by myself? Sink and float. I think sometimes school is on my screen, served with a side of brownies. Or in my sketchbook, where my train looks more like my classroom could be Nana's kitchen, where I overstuff the pot stickers. And my desk might be Papa's workbench, where we build a bird mansion. I think school can be on the shelf of my library or back home in my favorite chair. It can be in things I've broken and things I've built back up. It can be in I'm sorry and thank you. It's in hikes with mom or on bikes with dad. It can be high in trees and under stones. Around a campfire or up in the stars. Where is school? School is wherever I am. And this is, as she says, a fresh take on timeless lesson. Learning happens wherever you have an open mind, whenever you have an open mind and an open heart. And there's Lala. Hi, Lala. Yay. Nice to have you here. How are things in the Philippines? Oh, yeah. It will be difficult. Linda. Linda, we'll be with you. Maybe not in physical form, but we'll be with you in thought. Tamara and I will spend some time on Thursday thinking about you and sending you good thoughts. And hardest thing a mom has to do, but I'm glad you're there with family. And, Michael would be pleased that you're there by his side. So, yes, Lala's here, and she's finally caught up. The coloring of this book is amazing. Yes, it is really good. I couldn't see what the illustrations were done with. The printing was too small for me to see what it was done. I think it was done digitally, so that was yeah. It's raining down there. Yeah, Tamara said it's right in the smack of winter in Australia where she is. Yes, very much so. Anyway, so the next book I have for you guys, this one is, I said today's theme was important places and spaces, and this is called The Best Place to Read. And, I always talk about the reading tree that I had growing up. Um, there was this old Rome Beauty apple tree. And Rome Beauties you don't find very often. And it was an old tree when my dad built our house. And he and his grandfather turned what had been a kind of a part of a house or a small house and turned it and built onto it in our home orchard. Um, it had been an orchard that my dad's grandfather had planted. And my dad took it over as his home orchard and built the house there. And so the Rome Beauties were old trees when my dad when my mom and dad moved there, and by the time came along, they were much older. So, and they're still not a very popular apple, and it's kind of hard to find, but they were good. But this one tree was my perfect reading tree, and it went up just right. It was so easy to climb into, and then it had the perfect branch that you could sit in that was just the right crook of the tree that you could sit in perfectly. And then it had another branch that went up and out and had a crook in it that was flat enough that I could set my books on. And that was my reading tree. And my dad did not cut it down when he cut down the rest of the Rome orchard and replanted. He did not cut down my reading tree. He left it there for me, even though it didn't produce very well. But he kept it there for me. So a place to read, yeah, a place to read, the best place to read, sounded like a book that would mean something to me. We had thunderstorm today, rain today, and last night. Oh my gosh. Rome Beauties. Yep, Rome Beauties. They were totally round apple, and they didn't have, like most apples, you can look at the bottom of it and you can count how many lumps are on. You can sometimes tell the type of apple they are by how many stumps it had and how thick they were, all kinds of different things. But the Romes were real flat, kind of more like Honey Crisps are today a bit. Anyway, Rome Beauties, yes. So this is my next book called A Place to Read. Here we go. Yeah. The Best Place to Read by Debbie Bertram and Susan Bloom and illustrated by Michael Garland. I wonder if this one will tell me. It doesn't say what the illustrations are done in. Nope. A new book for me. I can't wait to read. I run to my own little chair. I'm growing too tall, too small, so I'm not comfortable there. Into the den. That's a good place to read. I love Grammy's soft, cozy chair. But so does old Rover. I tell him, move over, but he won't make room for me there. Daddy's chair must be magic. The seat can move back, up, and down in this big leather chair. A cool, windy feeling. The fan on the ceiling is spinning and blasting cold air. Snack time. I'm hungry. I'll read in the kitchen. Baby's booster is next to my chair. The table's so sticky. My hands get all icky. Yuck. Why would I want to read there? Grandpa looks comfy whenever he reads in his lumpy and bumpy old chair. My book drops to my feet when springs poke through the seat. Boing! I bounce up so high in the air. Upstairs. I'll read in my big brother's room. I'll flop on his round beanbag chair. Surprise! I yell, eek! As the chair springs a leak. There are beans and more beans everywhere. Her Highness the Princess, that's my big sis. A gold seat like a throne is her chair. But her stereo's singing, her telephone's ringing. Too loud, who could ever read there? So back down the stairs. Oh, where can I read? In Auntie's old wood rocking chair? Like a rocking machine, I feel seasick and green. I have to go out for some air. The backyard is great. I can read on the grass. I'll sit on a patio chair. Oh, it's the sprinklers. Oh no, splashing me head to toe. So now it's too wet to read there. I dry myself off. I give up. I can't read. I've tried to sit down everywhere. With no reading done, I'm still on page 1. I can't find a comfortable chair. Mommy, oh, Mom, may I sit in your lap? I love it so much when we share. Ah, the best place to be. Just my book, Mom, and me. At last, in a comfortable chair. Let's see. I love that last picture. Go back. Ah, it's a great one. I know. Debbie Bertram and Susan Bloom have been a writing team for over 3 years before turning to writing children's books full-time. Susan was an elementary school teacher and Debbie worked in the television production. They met when Debbie's daughter was a student in Susan's class, and they have been friends ever since. Debbie and Susan attend children's writing classes at UCLA and enjoy workshops and conferences across the country. The best place to read is their first book. They live in Los Angeles. And Michael Garland is an award-winning best-selling author and artist. He's illustrated over 20 books, including the bestseller The Mouse Before Christmas, which glows, according to the Horn Book magazine, and Icarus Swinebuckle, a Society Illustrators Silver Medal Award. Mr. Garland's art is regularly selected for the Society of Illustrators annual original art show, and he lives in Paterson, New York. Yay. Okay. Back to that. Good. Oh, Love You Forever. Yes, Love You Forever is by the same guy that did, he's Canadian, and he also did a book about called Good Families Don't. It's just hilarious. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. But Love You Forever is a good one. Yeah. Fine. Anyway, so I have one more book. And so we've been to school for important places and spaces. The school for important places and all the different places you can learn. And the finding the place to read. And Mom's lap becomes the important space. But there's all those other spaces that he goes through. And this is another important place. But it has a little bit of a twist. Because somebody unusual comes to the library. And it's kind of fun. Yes, Robert Munch. Thank you, Robert Munch. That's Robert Munch. Thank you, Lala. I had forgotten the name. I have Love You Forever in the other room. I have some of his other books. Yeah, some of his other books are so funny. They make the kids laugh so hard when you read them. Anyway, this next book is called The Library Fish. It's written by Alyssa Satin Capuccilli, and illustrated by Gladys Jose. A library fish. Come on. You know, it's got to be fun. So let's with the library fish. This great goldfish. The library fish. I love how, notice on the page here, let me make it a little bit darker so maybe I can't. Anyway, you can see the page there. They've done the legal stuff, the copyright information and publishing in the shape of a goldfish bowl, which I thought was so very clever. Once there was a fish. She was not an ordinary fish. She didn't live in the sea or the ocean. She didn't live in the river or lake. In fact, when Mr. Hughes, the librarian, found her, he said, "I'm not quite sure where you came from, but if you love stories, you've come to the right place." Had a little note left on her goldfish bowl. Some libraries have their lions, but this library will have you, fish. Hard as it might be to believe, Mr. Hughes was sure the fish wiggled her tail. She may have even smiled. From that day on, she was known as Library Fish. She made her home on the desk of Mr. Hughes. It was the perfect place to welcome all the visitors to the library. From where she sat, Library Fish could check each book that was borrowed and returned. Library Fish quickly grew to love story time. Mr. Hughes read stories that made her laugh out loud. He read poems that filled her with wonder. Mr. Hughes read in a bold voice. Then he read in a whisper. Library Fish met characters who were brave and kind, while others were daring, shy, or inventive. Library Fish learned about distant planets she might visit one day. Of course, Library Fish enjoyed an outing, too. She loved days spent on the bookmobile. Winding through busy streets, Library Fish could feel the excitement of the crowd awaiting their arrival. Mr. Hughes made sure everyone found just the right book. He always chose something wonderful to read aloud, too. Hard as it might be to believe, Library Fish was certain the bookmobile enjoyed a good story as much as she did. She could feel his rumble with joy. "I want an adventure. Poetry, please. Any books about puppies? What's the latest in the Wizzy Wizard series? I need a long book for the road. I think meerkats are cool. Libros en español, por favor. Are there any new graphic novels? I'm just learning to read." One morning, Library Fish awoke bright and early. She waited for Mr. Hughes to arrive with his usual "Good morning, Library Fish." She waited and waited, but the library doors remained closed. Where could Mr. Hughes be? Library Fish looked out over the shelves. Every book sat patiently in its place. She looked out the long windows. Could it be? There, for as far as she could see, was snow. Thick snow, falling faster and faster and harder than Library Fish had ever seen before. It reminded her of a story Mr. Hughes read, where snow fell so high and wide it made busy city streets come to a stop. Could snow make the library come to a stop too? Library Fish swam around in her bowl. She hummed a tune. She did some fancy spins, and the snow kept falling. The library grew quieter and quieter. There was only one thing to do. "The library may be closed on the outside," said Library Fish, "but it's always open on the inside. There's a story waiting for me. I just have to find it." Library Fish jumped. She leaped. She wiggled. She didn't get very far at all. Woof, she said. Library Fish remembered the story of a magic beanstalk. She stretched and stretched. She climbed to the tip top of her bowl until she slid down with a flop. She sighed. Maybe I can fly up, up and away like a superhero, said Library Fish. The thing was, she didn't have a cape. Library Fish looked out of her bowl. The moon peeked through the snowfall. That's it, said Library Fish. If a rocket ship can soar to the moon, maybe I can. 3, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, she shouted. And with one big splash, Library Fish landed safely at the foot of a towering stack of books. Filled with all the possibility of a great story, she set off at once. Library Fish looked over the book cart. Some of the books were too high to reach. Some were too heavy. Library Fish went up and down the aisles. She passed shelf after shelf until she found just what she was looking for. There, in the storytime corner, were reading. Library Fish settled into a comfortable, cozy spot. She opened cover after cover. She turned page after page. She pored over wonderful illustrations, and before long, something extraordinary happened. Library Fish was just about to reach for one more story when she heard it. First, beep, then a honk, then a vroom vroom. Why didn't I think of it sooner? Library Fish said with a giggle. I'm not the only one around here who loves a good story. And Library Fish chose some of her very favorite books, and although it had already been a night filled with adventures, she was sure there was time for just a few more. Library Fish read in a bold voice. She read in a whisper. She read until she laughed out loud. She read until she felt the bookmobile's engine rumble with joy. And before long, something extraordinary happened again. Zoom. Bookmobile. When the first rays of sun began to shine, a very tired Library Fish climbed back into her bowl. She dreamed wonderful dreams until... Good morning, Library Fish, said Mr. Hughes. Are you ready to welcome our visitors? She was ready indeed. Library Fish smiled. She wiggled her tail. Hard as it might be to believe, Mr. Hughes was sure Library Fish yawned, too. Hello, Library Fish. I missed you, Library Fish. There he is. How did those books get there? Loves stories. Library Fish loves stories. Yep. And that's Library Fish. That's the last one of today. Yay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me get my screen back over here on the main channel here. There we go. What you guys think of that? A bookish. I love you. whenever we're able to go to the U.S., we always go and visit the local library for that area. It's a really fun thing to do. One, Bob and I on our trip across country um, to go to Creator Camp, because Lala, I don't know if you know I'm doing that, but I'm driving from Washington State, from the Pacific Ocean, all the way across the country to the Atlantic Ocean to go to Creator Camp. We're taking Vivian Van Gogh, Vivian Van Gogh, or Vivian Van Gogh, my van, and we're camping all along the way, going places, and we are hitting. We're gonna go to Glacier and Yellowstone, see my nephew outside Yellowstone, and hit the Badlands, go see Crazy Horse. But one of the things I want to do is um, stop at some of the older libraries along the route, and I know that there's a beautiful one in Amesbury, but I want to see if there's one also in Portsmouth. But along the way, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to look up to see if there's some Carnegie ones or some ones in houses and different places that we can stop and see different libraries along the way. So we're going to be gone for quite some time, go to Creator Camp, and then we're going to head down, keep going on the trip down to route around through Arizona, hopefully come up through New Mexico and then that way, and we'll see what we do. So it's going to be a long trip. We may be out on the road for about 6 weeks. Exciting. And it will be fun to do. But yes, going to the libraries along the way is one of the things I really like to do. It's just exciting to see what they do. Where they sell books, actually ask for donation. You can, yes, can also get, you get a lot of them that way. It's nice that the Friends of the Library always have, at most libraries have a Friends of the Library sale where you can buy books right there in the front of them if you want. It's nice. So those were my books for today, all about important places and spaces. And yeah, so that's it. What's still for me to do today? I still haven't done my watercolor for today, for World Watercolor Month. I'm trying to keep up with that. I haven't missed a day. They haven't all been the most brilliant watercolors, but at least I'm learning a lot of stuff that I'm doing with Diane Anton and her World Watercolor Month prompts. So today I got to try to do a turtle kind of thing. We'll see how it does. And let's see, like I said, I printed 2 prints, and then I printed another one yesterday. So I'm getting there. I'm getting things ready for the show that I have on Labor Day weekend, and that will be good. So anyway, you guys, that's stories for tonight. Yeah. The camera in hand. I know. I have absolutely. It will be a delightful trip. Photographing some of the libraries is a fun thing to do. I've done some of those. Plus, the other thing that I'll stop. The other thing I like to do is to find old cemeteries and photograph them. They're pretty. I photograph them in infrared and then turn it to black and white, and they're pretty amazing too. It's always interesting to see how different places along the country have different kind of things in those things. Libraries and cemeteries is a real interesting thing. I did in high school. I did a whole thing on old churches one time. I don't know where those pictures are. I'll have to dig them up sometime. But anyway, you guys, so Sunday we'll be back for Story and Art. And don't forget Show and Tell. I have a really cool book to share with you called Picture This. Oh, it's backwards to you guys, isn't it? Is it backwards to you? Yeah, it is backwards to you. Let me see if I can make it so it's not backwards for you. And not mirror. There we go. There it is. Picture This. How Pictures Work. It's by Molly Bang, which, if you know who Molly Bang is, she is an authored and illustrated more than 3 dozen books and has won the 3 Caldecott honors, a Kate Greenway Award, and a Charlotte Zolotow Award. And I mean, Molly Bang's books are just fabulous. So I might try to find some books that she's done that I haven't read, and then tell you about this book, Picture This, because it's really an interesting book uh, for artists too. And I'm excited to share that with you guys. So we'll be back on Sunday, same time, same place, but with your artwork hopefully coming in. So don't forget to send it in to my email, imagesbygretchen@icloud.com. Send it in so I can share. You know, this was show 603. So I figured it out. Even if I'd only read 2 stories a night, that's at least 1,200 stories or more. I think I probably, lots of times I've read 3. And so I'm going to say a good 1,300 stories or so. And then the artwork that I've been privileged to share that you guys have sent and have been able to showcase your artwork. It's just such a treat for me, such a treat. And I want to thank you all for being here, for being my bucket fillers, and for it's just the best for, letting me share these wonderful stories and a genre of literature that I love. And you just let me talk, which is kind of nice. And you let me express how I feel and what I think about them. And it's just a safe, wonderful place. And you guys make it that. So thanks so much for being here. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in your mirror. I'll see you Sunday.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh,
Keep track of the books that I've read. I have a journal. I keep them. And it's not in order, so it's kind of my brain. Cemeteries, you might be afraid of that? It's wonderful. Oh, cool that he's attending a 16-week creative writing class. Comic. Oh yes, I love cemeteries. They're very cool.
You don't even try.
Oh, Lala, thanks for being here. Thank you, Linda, for being here, and Tamara too.
There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards.
Yeah, that is a lot of books. I keep telling myself I'm going to catch up on my logbook, and I'm behind by about 25 shows. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Right back at you, Linda. Right back at you. No, it wasn't a weather alert. Thanks, Mom. Lala, it wasn't. It was an amber alert, which it means, an amber alert means it. Not a good thing. Somebody is missing. So, in- thank you, Tamara. I love being here. Hey, Tamara got her new glasses. She can paint. Yay. That's good. All right, everybody. Good night.